the golem dropped to a knee, feeling the cold mud seep between his stones. He closed his eyes and let the vibrations of the ground run through him. The mass of beating hearts, the nervous shiver of countless feet, the crashing of drums and shields. He felt them all, and through them he felt more than just stone. He felt the rumble of the fading charge before the sergeants could even fill their lungs. "Ready yourselves!" the Truehards cried as one. Hands pressed to shields, spears slid into notches, muskets found gaps between helmets. Task stayed still, keeping his eyes closed, waiting for the inevitable. "Fire!" somebody screeched. The concussion of the cannon fire ripped the air. The shockwaves hammered against Task's body. Fire and smoke billowed over him. At his back, muskets rattled like fierce applause. Iron zipped past his ears. Task didn't care. He burst forwards to chase them, his mighty feet pounding the mud. The screams alone were enough to stagger the fading charge. The sight of the golem barreling towards them brought the soldiers to a wrenching, skidding halt. Task spread his arms wide. He hit them like a landslide. Bodies were catapulted high into the air, others crushed underfoot. Spears were turned to matchwood, shields folded in half. Those lucky enough to be swept along hacked madly at his chest and shoulders before falling to join their trampled comrades. Within minutes, the golem had carved a line of carnage through the fading ranks. He turned back on them, pausing to take in the crash of steel as the two armies met. As the few straggling ranks fanned out around him, Task gazed up at the clouds and let the rain wash some of the blood and gore from his arms. He felt the footsteps in the mud before he heard them. Slow, measured, and heavy with armor. Task smirked. He knew that swagger well. It was the sound of confidence, of someone who thought themselves better than most with a sword, of somebody hunting glory. The man emerged from the rain, coming to a rest a few long bounds from Task. He was young for a knight, handsome if not a little harsh on the eyes, with a face and jaw chiseled out of tanned marble. He wore no helmet, just a grimace at the rain. His dark hair was shaved at the sides, slicked back and tightly bound with twine. His armor was a plain polished steel, simple yet solid, not like the clockwork suits of the Khandri. He had a long sword in his hand, held low and steady. There was no tremble in its point, nor quiver in its dark grey blade. The knight was as composed as a statue. The name hovered on Task's lips, but he held on to it. "Impressive," said the man, nodding to the groaning bodies at the golem's feet.
"Thank you. I've had a lot of practice."
At first the man seemed taken aback by the golem's grating voice, but he recovered himself and started to chuckle. "I suppose you have, old beast. I suppose you have." Task flexed his shoulders.
"And you, I imagine."
The knight spun his sword in his grip. "More than most."
"And now you fancy yourself a golem slayer, as well as a dragon slayer, Knight of Dawn? Do you have a taste for killing things that are the last of their kind?"
Alabast Flint bowed, keeping his head up. "Once again, my reputation precedes me." Task shrugged.
"I've met many like you in my time, hero. Your kind like to talk more than you like to fight. How about we dismiss the introductions and begin?"
Alabast's face twisted for a brief moment, the first sign of worry Task had seen. "Very well, golem. Very well."